You're now tuned in to another episode of Lead and Be Legendary presents the LABL podcast. Aw, man. Lead and Be Legendary presents the LABL podcast. We on episode number 3. It's an honor that I got this guest on the other line. This guy is like, he's fam for one. 2, he's been like an instrumental part in my career as an MC. For one, I say an MC because, you know, this guy made it like a big deal for us to like really, and when I say us, I'm talking about like people within the family that do rhyme. It was like, he was the measuring stick for like just being able to come with like bars. Like you had to really hone your craft, like develop your skill. We ain't gonna get into that for too long. We're gonna cover some of that in this interview. But on the other line of this podcast, I got fam. You know, his fan base knows him as a 3-faced poet. I know him as Sleep. We call him Sleep, so you're gonna hear me interchange that name, you know, a lot during this podcast. But, you know, introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who you are.
Yeah, I'm the 3-faced poet, you know. I do go by the name Sleepy, Sam, and also Shamsu Hetep, an Egyptian name.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, you know, for the most part. And that Sleepy, you know, is part of my hip-hop era back in 95 for the most part.
We gonna have to get him hip. And that's crazy that you said that, because the first piece that I wanted to start off with, I was going to say, when I mentioned this title, let me know what comes to your mind all together when you hear it. That title is Hip Hop Shop. What comes to your mind like when I say that?
When you say Hip Hop Shop, it just took me back to West 7 Mile Road. And when I walked into the Hip Hop Shop where it was located on 7 Mile, it was a whole different way of living for me, because I went there every Saturday, and I've never seen so many guys in one building passing a microphone around.
Yeah.
And I wasn't no rapper at that time. I was just a wannabe rapper, and I didn't know it was that serious where you really had to have skill, you know, really freestyle. I had something written. And they always chatted, if you can't freestyle, you can't flow.
Yeah, wow.
You know.
That's crazy how I remember that. And it's funny because around this time, like, I was young, I was a kid. And I remember me and E, this back when it was on Santa Rosa, and you put us up on, like, you would come in, like, rhyming and stuff. We were like, what is he talking about? What is the hip-hop shop? Like, what is he, you know, as kids, we like, man, what are he so excited about? You know, we just trying to play video games. But I remember this. I remember you putting us up on, because you put Akin up onto it, didn't you?
Yes, okay. I did.
Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy, because I remember you putting them onto it, and they started taking me. And I'm a kid at this time. I'm just happy to just hang around my big cousins, so it didn't make no difference to me. But it's funny because doing that, me going with them, that is really what starts sparking. I had early inspirations on as a kid growing up wanting to rap, but it really didn't start taking its turn then, like going to the hip hop shop with Shaw. That's what's crazy about that. I didn't even know. This is my first time learning that from you, that was your first time really kind of like getting into wanting to, you know, freestyle and shit.
Yeah, because a brother by the name of Shango, he the one told me about it, because I told him, you know, I had tried to write a rhyme, and he was like, well, you know, it's a hip-hop shop on 7 Mile, so he's like, come check it out. So when I walked in, like I said, it was kind of a shock, you know, because I didn't think it was that many people like that, you know, and it was clothes. It was selling Maurice Malone clothes. And it was beautiful. So I asked, you know, I stuck my hand out for the mic, you know, because it wasn't nothing but to just reach your hand out, right, and they'll give you the mic when your turn comes. There it is. It was in my hand, so I just went to the beat and flowed, and it was every Saturday, man, it was like more people, and
a packed crowd.
You just would get better and better with time if you kept going.
Man,
that's Slum Village. Man, I mean, they was kids then.
All the greats.
It was
all the greats that's popping right now. They was there. So like, explain. You mentioned something in the record. Damn, I want to say, I think it was the track Classic Throwback. That might have been the track. Nah. I don't want to misquote the title. Whichever, it was a track on the album, because I'm, like I said, I'm just now really hearing it. But you mentioned like Proof helping you further hone your skill. Like, explain that connection, like with you and Proof, and rest in peace to Big Proof, by the way. But like, explain that connection that you had with him that really helped you further getting into the art of MCing.
Well, Proof was the host, and he made me feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. That's when I felt okay, because it was like, you had guys that was literally, they was just destroying the microphone to any beat, So I knew I wasn't at that level like that. I was just trying to participate because it was always exciting to me and fun. Mm-hmm. But when I would come early, Proof would, make anybody feel comfortable. And that's what really did it. Wasn't no pressure. And just so happened, later on, I found out we was from the same neighborhood. So we just ended up having a relationship and a connection. But again, the energy in the whole building was just peaceful and wow. Peace and harmony. I actually thought I was in New York, but I was really in Detroit. It was weird because
it felt like that.
I was new to the rap game. All I seen was New York on TV with videos and little ciphers in the Bronx and stuff. So when I looked at the hip hop shop, with cats had that same look.
Word.
But that was just our Detroit style as well. That was us,
So,
and a lot of cats came up from that, so it made me a better artist to this day. That's why I ended up coming out with an album.
Yeah, because we always give you credit for that, man. Like, man, like he can, like, you one of the sickest freestylers, you know what I'm saying? So that, like, I look at that like, damn, I can't freestyle that good. Like, I can write, but at the same time, I look at you like, man, how do we do that? Like, and just hearing you say this, like, just how it came about and how you developed that skill just from the hip hop shop, man, that's real, like, interesting and amazing. Just knowing that, like, I never knew really. I just knew I was a kid and just knew you could freestyle, and that was just dope to me. So, like, being that you started out with MCing, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the poetry thing. So, like, what inspired you now to, like, make that transition into spoken word?
Well, it's like I handicapped myself because I wasn't writing a lot of stuff down back in '95. Everything was pretty much off the top of my mind.
Word.
So I did that for so long. When it was time to actually write to music, I wasn't able to do it, and when I finally did write to music, to a track, and to be on the tempo and everything, it was very difficult and it was uncomfortable. So I just kept doing what I've been doing, freestyling. And then when I started actually writing, I wrote to no music. And then my cousin, Black Beethoven, he heard me and he said, you know what, I'm going to put the track around your vocals. Mm. So we just end up being a good chemistry together. And that's how that happened. That
was going to be my next question, too. I was going to say, like, how did that come about? Because I remember him explaining it to me, like, man, Sleep got it. Because your style, just a freestyling alone, when you would rap to a beat, was spoken word. And I always thought that. Obviously, I don't produce, but he heard it. And like you said, it just was like, man, y'all made something happen with this spoken album. And then tying into that, like, your brand, you got Rise and Shine. Like, you that's what I see from you all the time on social media. Like, explain that brand to the people that's not familiar or who may be familiar but don't really understand it. Like, what clicked for you to know that you had something inspirational with that?
Well, for one, it was pretty much, I looked to the sun, like to rise and shine, get up early like the sun, and you get a lot of stuff done. You know, the earlier you get up, the more you can get done in a day. And the sun shines 24/7. The clouds just blocks the sun a lot of times, but the sun's still shining. So that was one aspect that I came from with that. And the other one was when I went to Mumford High, you know, it was a fashion show. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a real flashy type of high school, you know, my 9th grade year. So ever since that Mumford era, you know, I really was on some shine. Like, you know, I had to go to school shining. And in fact, the females at that school at that time were dressing, not, I want to say, like, they was wearing some of the same clothes the guys was wearing.
Okay.
It just was I was just coming out of junior high, so I get to high school and I say, okay, well, damn, they dressing like this. So it put a lot of pressure on me, you know. So in those years and through on out, I always catered to style and fashion, you know. So I put that with my saying that I always used to say, rise and shine, when I speak to people, you know, in the morning or in the afternoon, at night, I still say rise and shine, you know. So, hey, in any situation, you know, being locked up, being in poverty, you know, you still got to rise and shine from any situation. True. You know, whether you have something good going on or bad, because I've been through both, and I still rise and shine through it all.
That's dope. That's dope as hell, and that explained a lot too, from the fashion side of things. Like, just knowing that's where it came from, as far as like the style that you do have. Because I listened to the classic Throwback. You was dropping some clothing lines I probably never have worn in my life. Like, you mentioned something. You said it was like Bill Blast. You may have mentioned Guess. Okay, I'm familiar with Guess, but all these colors. It took me there. That's what made that track so dope. It took me there. Like, one thing that stood out, you said the line about the chicks with the Anita Baker hairstyles. I was like, oh, shit. Like, to the average person listening, that line may have not been a big deal. To the people that was in that time, yourself included, I'm like, dang, that's probably like a huge deal to them. But me not even being from that era, just hearing it, you painted a picture, and the backdrop had a lot. Like, shout out to Black Beethoven. Like, he put the perfect backdrop around them vocals, like with what you were saying. Because I'm listening to it and I'm like, I'm hearing the beat, and then I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm there. That's what make this project like dope altogether. A few favorite tracks off of there for me. Well, I'll say 4. I'm running with the classic Throwback, Dolomite. Dolomite is so dope. Not just the words itself, but the beat behind it, like the Congo shit. I was like, man, this shit is fire. You went off on Jet Fuel. And all my favorite, Players vs. Owners. Definitely Players vs. Owners. Man, you talking that shit. A lot of people ain't gonna catch it, but you talking that shit, like the whole, how you broke down like the ESPN. Just the idea, what you said something about, and it's crazy because I just listened, you know, I'm big on lyrics, so I just listened to this yesterday, so I'm rewinding shit like, what'd he say? You was just breaking down like how it's not enough. You said something about like all these black players we got in the league basically, and yet it ain't enough owners that's black. And then you just kind of like just went from there, just kind of like built it around. Like, man, this shit is dope, man. More people got to hear this album, man. I'm sharing it wherever I can possible, but like, people need to hear this album because it's a refreshing feel. Like, I was curious to know. I'm like, okay, how is Black Beethoven with his style of production? How is he gonna match this around spoken word? That's what really made me curious. I knew y'all was gonna bring, but I was like, how is this gonna fuse together? When I heard it, I was like, man, this is magic. Like, this is definitely magic. That ill, super ill.
I was really impressed with his production. Um, it's a blessing, man. Because like I said, trying to be on time with a beat. Because I always wanted to really just rap like you. You know, I mean, you one of my favorite artists. Like
I appreciate that, man.
Serious.
I do okay. But
No,
listen, but it's crazy because
I'm into lyrics, man, and
the funny thing
you
is,
know,
I wouldn't be like at this level I'm at. Like that's thanks to you. You know what I'm saying? Cats like Black Beethoven. People of that nature. Like that's because of y'all. Like y'all pushed me to get there. So it's like I hear this album and I'm a fan. I appreciate it. I'm like, man, I remember those times when you would always say stuff like, I can't really catch that beat. But then I said, shit. This is a lane right here. It's spoken word. It don't need to be on beat. And then just hear, man, I'm telling you, it was magic, man. I'm listening to it like, dog, this is perfect. This is a perfect album. Like it wasn't too many tracks. Everything was cohesive. Like it just had that certain feel. I was like, man, this is like on point. I'm like, I would think that he's done this like times before for this to be your first, actual project.
Yeah, this to be the first official.
Yeah.
Back in, I want to say, 09, 010, right around up in there.
Dude.
I released an unofficial project, me and Black Beethoven, and it was okay, but it was rushed. Okay. It was a rush. I had got in some trouble, got indicted, man, and I wanted something to leave with people.
Yeah.
Before I went and did that time, man, and so they wouldn't forget about me while I was gone. So when I come back, I still have a little name flow. But it's a lot of those songs, people didn't hear. I didn't really get it out, like I said, because it was rush situation. So some of them songs off that project will be redone, reproduced, and it'll be put out,
Straight.
And yeah.
Man, I'm telling. And then on top of that, you got a show coming up this Saturday, right? The Erotic Poetry Joint.
Yep. December 10th. Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure the podcast is out like before then, just for promotion purposes, so they can hear about it and know to show up. I know y'all selling tickets for it now. I heard about the first one being a good turnout. I'm definitely gonna try to make it out to one of these events myself. Definitely got to make time for it. Y'all doing this monthly with the Somewhere in Detroit team, or is this something that's just like maybe off and on? Like how is this? Is it definite monthly?
It's not monthly, but maybe every other month.
Okay.
The first one sold out. This one we're about 20 tickets from selling out.
Okay.
And so we're gonna go again in February.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, people about to have that tax money. Y'all definitely about to do some numbers.
Dope show, comedian, host.
Yeah,
Josh Adams.
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hilarious. Now let them know, like with the Rise and Shine t-shirts. I still got a cop one myself, but you got those. You got the hoodies too, right?
Yeah, I got the Lions colors coming. Blue and that gray, and then the reverse,
yeah.
Gray and blue. The Lions. I got the glitter Rise and Shine lifestyle with the diamond. Rise and Shine Detroit with the sun, with the 72 and the sun. The 72 is a reflection of each other.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't ask about that logo. They just like it.
Just got it because it look dope.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's like they just getting. I like how it look, but there's really a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah, it's a deeper meaning because for one, 9 is my favorite number. 7 plus 2 is 9, and 72 also it goes into the heartbeat. It goes into the dimensions of the front of the airplane. It's a very, very sacred. It's a big number. It's big.
Man.
And it's so big that I can't really put one definition to it. It is not one definition. So people just have to understand that 72 is a powerful number, esoteric number. It's also the number that represents the neighborhood that I came from, which is Puritan Avenue. If you see the 7 and the 2, the 7 is a P on the phone, and the 2 is an A on the phone. And I was a negative.
That went over my head because I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's a part of a transition from a yin and yang, a negative and positive perspective. So when I used to rep my hood ignorantly, I was just out here pretty much lost. So when I found myself, and decided, hey, I need to do business, I need to have a product, and I need to not miss the opportunity to show the world where I came from and where I'm going. So that 72 is a reminder, hey, this is what you did from where you came from, which was a crack-infested neighborhood, murder and everything else, to part of a clothing brand, a lifestyle, all wrapped into one. And it's a sacred number. It's biblical. If you get off into astrology, the story of Jacob's ladder had 72 steps. Man, that number, then you can find all of this if you research it. The number 72, definitely. Esoteric and Western.
It's like it explained where you were, where you at, and where you going.
It's
all said and done.
Exactly.
Dope, man. I never knew it had that deep of a meaning to it. Like just with the Rise and Shine brand,
And I got another logo, a part of the Rise and Shine brand, which is 2 serpents that's going up a pole with 3 lines in the middle of the pole, going up, down the middle, straight down, up and down the pole, 3 lines.
Okay.
And at the top of the pole, it's the eye of Horus with the wings of Ma'at. It's the healing symbol. I've been representing health since the middle 90s. Been vegan, been vegetarian. Now I'm in moderation of fish and vegetarian.
You still
fish
juicing
and vegan.
too,
I'm
right?
in moderation, workout, all that. So, I'm not a professional health coach or nothing like that, but I am an inspirator and a person who can inspire people to get in shape and eat right and point them in some good direction.
And
so I keep that healing
juicing
symbol
too, right? With the
on some of my logos, some of my T-shirts that people might want, and the glitter.
Yeah.
The glitter also represents that shine as well.
Dope. And with the health thing, you still juicing too, right? Because I know you was doing the kale at first too.
Yeah, I got off the kale. I do wheatgrass every morning. I do wheatgrass. The wheatgrass is a superfood, and I do mean superfood. It gives you a lot of energy. If you get the fresh wheatgrass and juice it, the peels or the capsules and the powder have some effect, but not compared to
not like
the grass.
natural.
It looks just like the grass on your front lawn. And all you need is 1 ounce. 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 pounds of vegetables.
Wow. Where's
very potent?
What would you recommend? Like, where's a good spot to get it at? Because I think I asked you this before, but since we're on the podcast, for people that might not know, like, let us know, like, where would you recommend getting the wheatgrass from?
I would recommend getting it from Wheatgrass and Sprouts in Troy, Michigan.
Okay.
On Crooks Road. No, Maple, just before you get to Crooks. Yeah, because they have like a big warehouse that process that daily.
Okay.
Some of the stores get their wheatgrass from Wheatgrass and Sprouts.
Yeah, I might have to check it out because I ain't healthy, so I'm definitely trying to get there. I'm gonna have to check it out.
And they deliver.
Okay. That's even better,
Yeah.
meaning I ain't got to drive. So that's even better. Because I ain't healthy, but I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to do better. But, man, this was deep, man. I definitely appreciate, like I said, I didn't want to hold you too long. So I definitely appreciate you even taking the time. It's an honor, as I should say, just taking the time for you to even give yourself and, like, let the people know about Three-Face Poet. And then I learned some stuff, like I say, I learned some stuff I didn't know. Like, especially with the hip-hop shot, the origins of that with you, starting out with freestyling, just how you incorporated that, making that transition to spoken word. Definitely, everybody, let them know where they can get the album at. You know what I'm saying? So for the people the stream heads, everybody that's streaming online.
YouTube, Napster, Napstar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. You got Juke, Spotify, Apple Music,
Apple Music, word. So
iTunes, Tidal.
Oh, Tidal.
Amazon.
Okay.
Tidal, yeah.
This
is all new, man. I really, I was against Facebook from
for a minute.
Day one, back in 2009.
Not using it to your advantage.
He told me, he said, man, if you're doing this poetry, he said, man, you need to get a Facebook page. And I'm like, yeah, man, whatever. So I ended up getting it, man, and getting all the digital stuff that comes with albums. They say CDs is playing out. You want your stuff to be available online. So I listened to people who was really doing this for real, and here I am. So you pretty much get that album in a lot of online stores. Play Store.
Oh, the Google Play Store. Spoken.
Google Store. Yeah.
Spoken by the Three-Face Poet, all produced by Black Beethoven. Shout out to Black Beethoven. Like I said, man, I definitely appreciate you taking a moment just to kind of discuss, just having a conversation, man, just explaining to them the origins and, like I say, where you at, where you were, and then where you going, man. I definitely appreciate it. So, we're going to chop it up off the mic, of course. I'm going to definitely try to have this up before the show on the 10th. So, everybody make sure y'all there. Make sure y'all check it out online. Erotic Poetry Night, that's December 10th. I'm going to chop it up with your sleep. Again, man, thank you. This is big for me, man. I definitely appreciate it.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate the love as well.
All right, I'm going to catch you in a minute.
All right, bro. Peace out.
All right, now, peace.